I was 18 years old, a preacher's kid, been a preacher's kid all my life, and finding out you're pregnant and all eyes are on you, there's no feeling quite like it. It's terrifying. I wasn't so terrified that I was pregnant. I was terrified of everybody around me, of the expectations that I was not going to meet. I was terrified of what my parents would say, of what my pastor at the time would say. So I did choose to end my pregnancy. I drove myself to a local clinic. There was a lady, late 20s maybe, she was giving me an ultrasound, and out of curiosity, I asked to see it. And then I said, well, what's that? It was something that was moving. And she said, well, that's the heartbeat. And I wish I could say that this was a magical moment where everything was better. Nothing was better yet, but I knew this was not an option anymore. I could see this was a baby.
My first contact with Chrissie occurred on a weekday afternoon when she and her mom called me at New Beginnings to find out about the adoption process. Tom did not typically counsel with the birth moms, but he wanted to help her understand her dad's emotions from a dad's point of view. And he said, you have to help me understand how a young lady from a minister's home, extended family with several ministers, ended up in an abortion clinic. And she said, well, first of all, our generation doesn't think like yours. We're not convinced it's wrong. She said the church doesn't talk about it, and so the only information we get is what we hear from the world, and they tell us it's just a clump of cells and a mass of tissue. She said, I could sit here right now and name several of my friends that have had abortions in the past year and no one knows. And she said, do you want to know why they make that choice? And he said, yes. She said, because my friends and I think it's easier to get forgiveness from God for having an abortion than to get forgiveness from the church for getting pregnant in the first place.
Adoption is a wonderful option. It's not void of grief. It's not void of the trauma. It is very difficult. I would also say the reward greatly outweighs the hard stuff. That grief was able to settle, and I'm able to look back on a story and just taste the sweetness of it now. Just taste the goodness of God. Taste and see. Taste and see that the Lord is good.